Welcome back, New Jersey wrestling fans, to On the Mat, the show that goes all over the Garden State, talks about everything that's going on in gymnasiums. And we have the biggest weekend of the year in the state tournament at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. That's where everybody wants to punch their ticket. We know who's going to be there. We'll find out who's going to do what right after this. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome back. I'm Mark Trible of the Courier Post, joined by Brett Fetty and Ralph Ross Jr. The trio is ready to tackle what's going to happen here in New Jersey wrestling. First off, let's take a look back in this first segment at what happened at Regions, Brett. Region 1, we'll go region by region here and kind of touch on the big points. Region 1 had a great final at 106, one we talked about last week. Nick Babin of Emerson Park Ridge beats Justin Beerdumfel of Don Bosco 1-0.
1-0. So what was his record against him last year?
I don't remember.
0-5. So he avenges it 1-0. A pretty big turnaround.
4-0 against him this year.
So Babin, the sophomore, is I believe when we go over seeds, he's in there.
Yeah.
He got thrown in there. I don't know. We'll
He's up there
talk
at the
about
top.
Seeds, but and what's going to happen when they wrestle at states. But he won. He won the region, avenging 0-5. That's a pretty good turnaround now. Beating a kid 1-0. Hey,
Yeah, that familiarity, man, to finally get it in a big spot and then get a better seed over top of that. Here's one you like, Ralph. Region 2. Michael O'Malley, Hasbrook Heights. He wrestled Christopher Folk of Burton Catholic, right? Wrestled him last week.
Yeah,
Decision. Pins him this week.
Yeah, Foka was number one kid in the state. Sometimes he was considered number one kid in the country. But O'Malley just hammered him up last week. I guess people thought maybe it was a fluke, but hammered him up a little bit more this week and pinned him. And I know Foka can turn it around because he's a funky wrestler. But I'd be shocked if he turns it around. The familiarity won't work there.
He pinned with 2:10, so 10 seconds into the second period.
Must have been a good move on top quickly.
I don't know.
It could have been those two teams, those two seeds are at the top of that weight class as well for
we
states.
don't know. We don't know what the seeding
even know,
does.
yeah.
We'll see. Seeding just, I think, they throw darts.
We'll talk about it.
This time of year, dart throwing really is what the state's especially great at.
Throw a lot of darts.
Region 3, Anthony Clark, Del Barton, certainly a favorite in the state. He beats Cullen Day of Peaburg, one of those Peaburg wrestlers, 5-0. He beats him.
Now that they're going to put a name to the face at state, so we'll be able to talk to them this weekend.
State liners always perform well this time of year, Ralph. We know why they do it in the team setting. They don't get pinned. Why are they so good in the individual setting
They're
usually?
just tough kids in their schedule. You could wrestle a kid from Peaburg. He's like 11-5. He's wrestled, that state across the state, Easton, and all that kind of stuff. Again, Peaburg's one of those teams, and even Southern. You look at them; the kids are like 16-5 because they don't wrestle 27 quads. They don't have to be 34-0. They just wrestle tough matches. They're just a solid program.
They used to be in a conference, the East was it East Penn Conference?
Pennsylvania Conference.
So and they had to get out of it because of the PowerPoints, which is good for the sport. No, but did it help? Was Peaburg good when they had to wrestle those teams? Yeah. Now Peaburg may wrestle one or two of those teams, but still they're battle tested and they have a game plan. Seems like they have a game
Let
plan.
them wrestle out of state and just take the top 11 in each group to qualify for the playoffs. Just so everybody gets in.
Yeah, I agree. And Anthony Clark, certainly, to only lose 5-0, I mean, that's pretty good. Clark's a prohibitive favorite there. Region 4, 126, Ralph. Joe Heilman of South Plainfield. We talked about this one last week. He did end up seeing Michael Kelly of St. Peter's Prep. Beat him 3-2 in the final.
Yeah, Heilman is been 50-0, and then he wins. His brother's a 3-time state finalist. I hate
Try to cash in the silver.
Yeah. They're a big silver family because they wrestle. Look at the kids they wrestle. Heilman is good at 26, 32, and 38, 32 is just ridiculous weight class. But it's almost like they're wrestling this
Battle for the silver.
I hate to say that because so many upsets have been happening.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Heilman, another one.
We'll get on the mat.
Here's a kid you're familiar with, Brett, in Region 5, 132, Russell Benson.
Russell Benson, that's a name that it just started popping up. But I mean, he pinned Hunter Gray from Hunter Central. He's a tough wrestler. So we'll see what Mr. Benson does at and he's at 132. If you look at a picture of him, you would think he's at 170, but he's at 32. So it's not a mirage.
The kids up North Jersey, they seem to cut weight. They're pretty good at weight cutters. I mean, when South Jersey goes up there,
they cut weight and lift weight.
Like everything in the same weight class.
Right. 132, Raritan certainly will pack a ton of fans in as well. They travel really well. Yeah, the Rockets will be roaring. Not quite the launch pad, but it'll be pretty good. Region 6, here was the upset, I think, across the state, right? Brian Miraglia of Del Ran beats Kyle Slendorn of Howe, who was unbeaten. And we'll talk about the impact that had on the bracket from Miraglia. Good kid, great program at Delran. Always have one or two really strong kids. Brett, were you surprised to see Miraglia won?
You know what? I mean, not totally surprised. Your brother did well.
Yeah.
I made state semifinals. Tough match. This kid's tough. I mean, last year he had maybe 1 or 2 losses going in states.
Yeah, not many.
But he beat Slendorn. Slendorn, he's tough to follow, too, because, I mean, freshman year comes in undefeated. I don't believe he placed. Sophomore year, not sure, but last year, overturns a 10-0 loss, I believe,
20-9.
to Duca.
Duca beat him 29.
And then he beat the out of Duca and made the finals.
Yeah. I think it's like he grows that,
So-
he has that mustache, he grew that mustache. I think that thing's ridiculously nice. So I'll tell you the thing about Slendorn, and I hate to say this, and I don't want to do scouting for coaches, but you'll see Miraglia. If you stay at the bottom, you got a chance of beating them. If you're forced to take down or gets on top, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. He's just he's nasty on top.
Yeah, and Miraglia is a kid who last year lost to Slendorn in the regions and kind of kept that as his carrot in front of him. That's what he was going for all year. He won another shot. He got it. He made good on it. He wins most outstanding wrestler and definitely benefited in terms of the seeding criteria because he's now the 2 seed at that weight. Region 7, Region 8, let's talk some South Jersey here. 126 at Region 7. Colin Wick of Cherokee.
4-time finalist.
Yeah.
Finally got his gold. He beat a tough wrestler in Clark as a sophomore. And, he'll be in the mix at 126. It's a pretty balanced weight class, but we talked about, the odds-on favorite. But, good for him. Senior won of the gold.
Let's talk about another senior from your hometown here, Corey Fisher.
Yeah, West Stafford Eagles get a region champ. His brother won it last year. Now, I'm sure he's looking to place this year. He came close last year. But, he beat Solomon early on in the tournament. Solomon comes back and places. He missed placing, but I know he's looking to place now.
Yeah, and Fisher certainly developed a lot through the end of last year. He really got it clicking. Yeah. But he had a pretty bad gash on Saturday and had to battle back. And they said he started with some headgear on to kind of, or a mask to wrestle in that championship route. As soon as it started, he threw it off like 10 seconds in, decided to go out and beat.
Threw it off.
He said he's been working out with Layall. Greg Layall, week, so
off.
he'll probably be ready.
Sometimes they can be restrictive, like the WWF. They had to get rid of it, and finally knew who it was. Yeah.
One of the better finals at 170 in Region 7. Ethan Kraft of Rancocas Valley beats Brandon Green 5-3 in overtime. Brandon Green of Paulsboro. That was one we looked at. Green gets by Balatino of Haddonfield, I believe, was an injury default in the semifinals.
A lot of people were shocked that Kraft beat Green. Kraft's been there before. He just missed last year, missed injury. The shocking thing is if you watch the video, what happened in that match. Because
that was Carter and Boker, right?
Okay, I'm sorry.
The Carter Boker match.
182 semifinal?
I'm happy for the Collingswood team. I love the guys. Those guys are great. And I don't know about that call in overtime.
When Kraft and Green shoots in, right? And Kraft then Woodson steps over, gives him a leg, and gets taken down. We thought he was going to defend it, but Kraft took him down, won the match, and I was kind of surprised when I saw that.
That's going to cost him a seed.
Kraft last year before the season ends up wrecking his knee on a trampoline.
Yeah.
Missed the entire season. It was a real bummer for RV, but this year he's come back. He's been spectacular.
Tough kid.
Here's another one at heavyweight. Heavyweight was another great class at South Jersey, especially Region 7. Lamar Price of Sterling beats Antonio Mercado of Camden 4-2.
Yeah, close match, 2-2. The Camden kid thought he shouldn't take a shot. Didn't need to. So that's the kind of thing that you got to be prepared for that. There's no reason to take a shot like that. With 30 seconds left, you're tied. You don't give up points. Don't give up points.
The rule should be
don't give up points.
Or
make them score on you.
Never shoot is a pretty good rule.
Well, at heavyweight, I mean, really, how many of them come down to the ultimate tie break or come down to the very end in terms of who can get out on bottom, right?
Who can get out head on bottom, or who can ride, or sometimes when you get up this far, though, they do have some wrestlers, that will wrestle like lighter weights.
Talking about wrestle
like Cody Wood
from Pennsville.
Well, we're going to talk about Cody Wood from Pennsville, Region 8 at Egg Harbor Township, where the whole on the mat crew was there. He beats Bryce Dunn. He pins him quickly.
First period.
Yeah.
And Cody's been pretty good on his feet this year, and hey, it's another year where he has confidence. Last year, he's a light 285 pounder, and now he's got some weight behind him. His technique's obviously better, and he feels more comfortable. So see this weekend, but I
Plus, a big positive, he's got his tattoo sleeves filled, his arms all full this year. Last year was, not done, but it's ready to go this year.
Cody Wood is a tremendous kid, and Pennsville, obviously, tremendous support they had down there for him. You got to like that, and you got to like the fact he beat Bryce Dunn 1-0 earlier in the year and then took care of business. He's gotten better as the years progressed.
Game plan.
We had 3 returning state champs in that region. We had Antonio Menino, who rolled at 120, Quinn Kinner, obviously, who rolled through as well, and Bill Janzer. I mean, they were not tested.
Man, I haven't seen Janzer all year, little bits and pieces here, but people were saying, he's got close matches. He's been wrestling close matches with Marina from Paulsboro, and he's a great kid. But, man, he looked dominant. That kid from Holy Spirit is not that bad. He throws that underhook in, and it's just ridiculous. And when you're watching a match, you're like, here comes the underhook. And he just throws it in there, and you just stop it. He looked like a bully, and that's what you got to look like.
I see. Well, Marina has long arms, kept him away, good leverage, and that's Marina knows it's coming. So I'd hope to see that rematch, and we'll see what happens. But we have Mackenzie, and we'll talk about states in a little bit. But it should be a good weight class.
Yeah, 195. Really, the story I think of South Jersey wrestling all year is Brian Martin. He continues his undefeated season. Beats Tommy Maxwell again in a rematch of an early January bout. It was 3-1. The first time was 6-3 in the championship. I thought Martin was good. Maybe got a little ahead of himself at the end of the first period, but regrouped and took care of business. This is the first time you've seen Martin. Is that correct, Ralph?
Yeah, first time I've seen him in person. It was a loaded weight class, and he's just such an athlete. You can tell that he works harder. It's just a case of, I would say, like him and he's a kid who just worked hard in high school. He's terrific athlete. I mean, he's so big and strong and quick, and he just keeps going. He looked a little passive, like he wrestled not to lose, but you can get that way. But man, I tell you what, someone's going to be in their A game to beat him.
Yeah. So I mean, that match against Maxwell at the end, he's on his hip, he's looking, but he looked like he was in control because Maxwell's a good athlete, good wrestler, and it looked like any other wrestler could just turn into Martin and take him down. But Martin had his hips balanced enough where he wasn't going to get taken down. And he won the match, and like I said, he's impressive. He's a big kid, strong kid. I know Westerfeld, he beat him, close match, but I think Cardenas is a tough kid. Cardenas wrestled 182. I can't see anyone from 182 going up to wrestle Martin and having a chance.
Yeah, and a really interesting phenomenon, especially in today's day and age where so many people on social media and wrestling junkies know wrestling inside and out, every weight class. All year, it's kind of been word of mouth with Martin. There were people who showed up at Egg Harbor Township and asked, which one is Martin? And to be undefeated, be number one seed in the stage and wait, have people have no idea who you are?
People went up to Jernigan and say, is this kid for real? Is it real? And then they saw him this weekend, he was real.
Martin was the guy wearing the Williamstown singlet wrestling 195. That was him in the front.
He was, and you know what?
He'll be there next weekend.
If you couldn't find him before, you could find him on top of the podium after. Yep. We're going to come back after this, talk about all the weight classes, starting with 106 for the state tournament, so stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely stay tuned.
Welcome back, wrestling fans. Now, we have the three best days of the year in terms of wrestling. It's going to start at 2:30 on Friday at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. It'll go all day Saturday, and then obviously Sunday we'll have the finals in the late afternoon, early evening. Let's start with 106 pounds. We're going to list off the top 4 seeds here. Joey Oliveri of Hanover Park, Nick Babin, who we just talked about, Emerson Park Ridge, Brett Unger, Hunterdon Central, Quinn Malovchik of Belvedere. Now, the seed that I look at here, Ralph, is the 6th seed in Nick Kyle, right? Bergen Catholic. What do you think?
Yeah, you would think that he would be the favorite coming in because of his success last year. He does have the loss to Nardone, and Nardone took a 3rd in districts. I have yet to figure out the seeding process, and there's some weight classes that we'll talk about. I just can't understand. It's worse than throwing darts.
Yeah, I mean,
if they threw darts, it would be better. There's a million things that were going on, but this is a serious one. And we talk about it, like Brett was saying, or talk about things that could change. It's seriously flawed in so many ways. It's laughable.
And it gets worse when we go on, and we'll talk about it.
It's laughable.
What do you think about the 106 class?
106 pound class. I like Kale. I like Dean Peterson too. It's going to be tough to beat. Now they're on one side of the bracket, and for them to come out, I like Kale to come out. The other side of the bracket, looking at it looks like it's going to have Nordone and Oliveri, or the two favorites, I believe. And there's balance in there because, I mean, a lot of the young kids at that weight class, a lot of freshmen. But, I mean, don't count Babin out. He's a sophomore, second seed. But I think it's between Kale and Peterson.
Yeah.
And I think it's to make it out to the finals, and I think it's between Oliveri and Nordone.
For South Jersey, this is probably one of our toughest weight classes to place, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like good luck. Yeah, you won your first match. Yeah. It's going to be tough. I mean, you got Carmen G. Morel goes against Malarkey, so they face each other, and then Hokie and Scolo. So Hokie Region 8, Scolo Region 7.
Malarkey and Gimerelli, they can drive the states, right? They're the two oldest kids in the weight class.
Possibly.
113, let's skip ahead to that. Anthony Clark at Del Barton is obviously the 1 seed. Sammy Alvarez, St. Joe Montvale is the 2. Dante Menino Gateway is the 3. He was a Region 7 champ, or Region 8 champ, I'm sorry. Hunter Gutierrez of Lacey is 4. He was the Region 7 champ. How does this size
Looks like they came a little closer to getting the seeds correct here. Yeah. Clark definitely.
Clark's the number 1 seed.
Number 1 seed.
He's a returning state champ?
No.
Yeah. Clark is, right?
Oh, he beat Alvarez.
I know. So that's a good.
Oh yes, good one too.
Yeah, I think that would be criteria. So right, he's a returning state champ.
That you would set precedent at 113. Well, you would think it would follow suit throughout, but it gets a little confusing. But I definitely think Clark comes out right here. You're going to have possibly Menino, but Ben Tresca, 7 seed, tough wrestler. He has Gandy first round. But I still think it's Alvarez-Clark rematch.
What I like about Menino is even if he doesn't get there,
it'll be a close match.
He didn't wrestle his best in the final. Region 8, we saw that against Mackenzie Bell as a high-scoring bout, and he was not happy. I don't think I've ever seen somebody win a region championship be more unhappy. It reminded me of Nick Suriano after he won his 4th state championship. It didn't feel like he wrestled his best. He just kind of walked off the mat.
Right.
Tough matchup with leverage kids with Menino.
Yeah.
I mean, he was getting rid reverse, a lot of reversals.
Yeah.
A lot of reversals.
Bell's got a lot of length, too. Let's go ahead and take a look at 120. This is one where we kind of wonder how the seeds play out with the criteria. You remember last year, Joe Manchio was the defending state champ, right, at 106. He ends up losing to Robert Howard in the quarterfinals. Is that correct?
Okay.
And then Antonio Menino wins it.
Yes.
Right. So he's
over Howard.
So who's the top seed?
Menino's a return.
So you would think Menino is because he hasn't lost.
I think, though, they counted Mark Manchio's state titles, too. They gave some to Joe. Now, Joe is the number 1 seed.
Menino's top seed, right?
Incorrect. So Joe Manchio, because he had an extra placement over his years, is the 1 seed. Howard and Menino are in the bottom of the bracket. They're the 2 and 3 seeds.
Howard, the number 1 kid in the country, is the 3rd seed.
Yeah.
Right.
Which he's number 1 in the country, but he also lost to a kid who hasn't lost since he beat him.
Howard's never wrestled Manchio right in their career, right?
I beat him last year in quarterfinals.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know that because I didn't think that would take precedent.
I mean, and don't forget about Mitchell Polito of East Brunswick is there. Richie Kohler's Christian Brothers.
Travis Jones might have something to say, too, in that weight class. And he's from...
he might say good luck to Menino and Clark and Manchio to see who wins the state title.
Well, the thing is, Antonio Menino is chirped in here and says, great show. Thanks, Antonio. We hope to see you battle through. I mean, to be the man, you got to beat the man. He was the man last year, so he's the guy who should have the bullseye on his back.
I believe we're going to have a Manchio-Menino final.
That'd be great for South Jersey.
Yeah, and the seeding process.
And they wrestled last year in the regular season, and Menino beat Manchio. 126, I think it's pretty elementary, right? Pat Glory, pretty good wrestler at Del Barton.
He's got 120
points.
He
won state title last year.
Yeah, he's
got 120
won the
points
beast 3 times.
Won the Super 32.
20 points every match so far, I think.
You know where he's going to school?
3
Princeton.
touchdowns.
Very good, yeah.
Stay in New Jersey. Good for him. 132, a little bit more intrigue here. Nick Ramo, Hanover Park's the 1 seed. Maraglia, who we talked about, is the 2 seed. Slen Dorn's the 3 seed. Lucas Ravano, Camden Catholic, very talented. It's a 4 seed. Jake Rotunda, who split with Ravano. Ravano beat him the last time. It's a 5. Ramo beat Ravano 7-3 in December, Brett. Do you think Ravano can beat Ramo when they wrestle, presumably in the semifinals?
I don't think so. I just don't. I think Ramo's too good on his feet, doesn't give up a lot of points, and he is hard to score on. But his offense on his feet, I think, is going to be too much for Ravano, who, if Ravano's on the other side of the bracket, I think he makes it out into the state finals.
No, he's up top, isn't he?
No, if he was.
Oh, they're on the same side.
Yeah, that would be a great say. I think Ravano's wrestling really well right now. His mindset's really good. If there was a time that he could maybe pull this upset, I think it's right now. Things are going well for him. Some of these kids you see, they get into the tournament, you expect more out of them because of past criteria, but they're not wrestling well. He is wrestling well.
Ravano, it's just, people say you got to be the best to beat the best, but it's better to, in the state finals, anything can happen. Kids wrestle there. If you got him in the first round and he's going to flow, but like Menino and Martin, they get in the region finals at 113 and 85, the 13-pound Menino. Sometimes they wrestle not to lose, or, it's a different time.
So, like on the other side, so you get Slendorn, state finalist. Ravano's never been in the state finals, but if you're looking at it right now, Maragli takes that away from Ravano, bumps Ravano over to the other side of the bracket.
Ravano's not getting Maragli.
And would it be a huge major upset if Ravano beats Ramo? Well, not huge, but be an upset. But they happen.
It would be big.
But like you said, like in the words of Ric Flair, to be the man, you gotta
beat the man.
And Ravano will come out with that robe like Ric Flair.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
the robes of Camden Catholic, absolutely.
He needs luscious locks.
138, Quinn Kinner, Jake Benner's on the bottom of that bracket. He's a defending state champ, right?
At the 130, yeah, and it's going to be Kinner's to lose, and
it's got to be,
and it'll be a nice show for Kinner to go off to Ohio State, and I don't think just watch the big move. Benner's a big move guy, puts good kids on their back, but Kinner's not good. He's great, so.
Well, Kinner on top is impossible for anybody to function when he's on top. I mean, it's just
like I said over and over. I know the North Jersey people and Glory and Ramo. I just think Kinner's the best in the country.
So do
I do. I think he's the best wrestler in the country.
I would agree. 145. It looks like Ricky Cavanias of DePaul is the prohibitive favorite. I think this is one of our weaker weight classes.
Second state, yeah. I mean, it really is because it's just you're looking at seeds too around. They're all over the place.
Yeah, we can't. We'll talk wrestling, but you're going to have to give us 5 or 6 minutes on this weight class. The seeds at 145 is just mind-boggling. I just don't understand, and I'm going to bring that as it was. Yeah, the 6th seed is Honorano from Paulsboro. Mm-hmm. He got seeded over the last week. He took a third in the region. He got seeded over the first place and the second place. The kid who took a second, Mooney from Camden Catholic.
They might use full circle.
I don't care what the criteria is. It's wrong. It's just.
Yeah, we got to. We do have to nail it down to see what they're using criteria-wise, because I'm hearing all kinds of different things.
They're using, I know.
Super 32, full circle, but we'll figure it out.
It's if they're going to use that, they better use it for team, because I know they do team rankings.
Well, the thing is that none of us are math majors. I know I'm not.
I know
so
that,
by the time the projections, you look around, you think, this guy, he shopped at the supermarket on Tuesday, the other guy went on Wednesday, that's criteria, he should be over him.
It doesn't pass the smell test. If you beat a guy the week before and then another guy beats him.
Can Jake Benner move up?
I don't even know.
At this point?
He should be able to.
Maybe, I don't know. But.
It might be best for everybody involved.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him at 45.
And don't Facebook in or tweet in and say, this is the system, you got another system, the system stinks.
I'll talk about that.
You said it doesn't pass the smell test and it stinks.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of the verbiage in the team reclassifying regions in a little bit too.
We'll have all that and more. We're going to look at the last 7 weight classes that we haven't previewed yet and a couple other thoughts that we all have and I think we all had on our minds right after this on the Mat. Welcome back to On the Map, presented by the Map Pack. We're going to review the last 7 weight classes here that we're going to see at the state tournament. Let's start with 152. Gerard Angelo, Bergen Catholics, the 1 seed. Brian Meyer at Peaburg's the 2 seed. Joe Casey, Boundbrook, who is very, very good. So is Cole Corrigan, Toms River South's a 4 seed. How does this one shape up, Ralph?
I think Angelo obviously is the odds-on favorite. I would think his toughest competition is the kid behind him at Bergen Catholic, who's JV, who'd probably never wrestle off.
So he probably got got some good matches down there. Really was able to perfect his technique on the JV level.
Bergen Catholic might have the state finals Thursday at practice, so we should do that. But I think Angelo is going to be the overwhelming favorite. The Meyer kid from Phillipsburg, like you said, they always shine at the end of the year. They're tough, hard-nosed kids. So I think it's Angelo's.
Who do you like on that side of the bracket, though, with Meyer and Casey?
I like Meyer to beat Casey. I'm just looking at names over there. I know O'Connell, it's okay. But then you got Cole Corrigan. Hasn't he been there every single year?
Yeah, he's great.
And he's 4th seed. So, hey, I think that Corrigan would have a stake going to the finals if you put him over there with the other. But that's not the way it is. So we're going to read what we have to work with. And it's an Angelo. I think Meyer final, which it could have been Cole Corrigan would have had maybe something to say about. But guess what? He doesn't have anything to say right now. So
I kind of like Casey to get to the final.
Okay.
I like Casey.
Downbrook, all right.
He was around a couple state champs beginning of his career. He knows what it takes. 160, Shane Griffith. Odds on total favorite there, right?
Yeah, 70. No,
Kennard from Wall is there as well?
Wall's been around forever, too. But he's a junior. He comes back. But I think Griffith, he's obviously going to be a 4-time finalist. He could be a 3-time champ. He could be one of the all-time greats. So
not very flashy.
Makai Lewis last year.
Yes, lost Makai Lewis. Close match. He has close match in the semis last year. I think it was O'Malley he wrestled.
Yeah, O'Malley.
And he's not flashy, but he wins. And he pulled that crazy move his freshman year. Still, just tough.
Gets the job done.
Yep, and he is going to Stanford, I believe.
170, you talked about O'Malley. We talked about O'Malley and Foca. They are the 1 and 2 seeds. And Ralph, you said you expect O'Malley to win it?
Yeah, I think they should probably meet in the finals again. And I just don't see any way. I don't see anything that's going to change. It's not like it's, he's one there, a little bit there. I would expect the same finalist and the same result.
Does he have Green in the
quarter?
Oh, no, wait.
I forgot. You had to remind me.
Somehow, Kraft beat Green.
Correct.
He did.
So Green gets the seat over.
Because,
2 years ago, when 8th grade?
Darts.
No. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if I'm Kraft, I would say, I should be over on the other side of the bracket, and I have a chance.
I don't know what the criteria is, and I know they're going to say, but it's just ridiculous. It's just horrendously ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I heard got in that meeting that they were using. So we'll find out.
Kraft and the kid from Lacey Gutierrez. No, the 45-pounder that got just robbed at 145. Gauthier. Find me, and I'll take you out and get you ice cream cone. You got killed in season.
There's some tough kids in that weight class, though. There are some tough young kids. You got Wright-Smith, sophomore, Green's sophomore, Foca junior, and Kraft is a junior. But he's at that seed.
Green's a sophomore.
Yes.
There's still seeds.
And Hunter Suter, he has his freshman.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So maybe, I guess maybe if they fix the seeds, maybe next year it'll.
We're going to have to change something.
We're going to put.
They should. I'm sure it's going to work out the way, and they should do it all the way with the team.
I'm thinking kids are even going to get there Friday night and think they have a bye.
I think
they're region champs.
Yeah. If you get there earlier, you get a bye. I think they're going to let you. First ones there get a bye.
There are no buys.
They said
Please don't show up Friday night. They did say there's a bye.
They wrestled for till 10th place at regions. And what did they take? I think
it felt like that.
It
felt like that.
They wrestle for 5th and 6th. They do that, wrestle for this, in case the 4th place kid doesn't make it, the 5th place kid can go. But he has to wait in line and pay. That's a new rule. He's still got to pay to get in.
Yeah. Let's talk about 182. Obviously, Bill Janzer was state champ at 70 last year. He's wrestled Marina, Paulsboro twice. They were both close. Like you said, Janzer seems like he's on a mission right now. Marina's the 3 seed. Janzer's the 1. McKenzie at Bergen Catholic's the 2. How's it going to play out?
I just think Janzer will be there. And I don't like Marina and McKenzie. A lot of things will go there.
McKenzie.
I just really like Janzer. People are talking like, you know, he's vulnerable, and he probably is. And actually, I bit, and I was telling people that his region final is going to be a lot closer than they thought. Man, it just wasn't.
No, he took Mike Wazen. I mean,
I really think McKenzie's going to wrestle. They did an article I read about him yesterday. He's going to wrestle this year at States, and I think maybe Marina stops him on the goal line to go to beats him in the semis to go to the finals. And the Janzer Marina trilogy ends right there. So, close match. Right now, if you're looking at it, Janzer looks like he does the way he's wrestling. I mean, Marina beat Carter 4-2. I know comparative scoring. Janzer's starting to pick it up a little bit.
Brett did tell me that he thinks Marina's going to upset him.
Well, here's the thing. Janzer, when I talked to him after Saturday night, he said, I don't care what anybody says. I wrestle my style, and I don't feel any pressure except for myself. I expect to win the state championship. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm here to do. That's all I know how to do after last year. So that's what I'm going to take care of business.
And here's the thing where experience will could play a factor. I mean, he was in the state finals last year.
Yeah.
I did say earlier, I think Marina, after watching his first two matches, could beat him. This weekend, Marina beats Aaron Carter 4-2. Tough fought match. Janzer looks like he's on a mission. He's got the underhook working.
Oh, that thing's nasty.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens if Marina can neutralize him after he gets by McKenzie, and it should be a good final. Good all-South Jersey final there.
Yeah, Andy Clark
No love
brings
lost
up.
either.
Andy Clark
related to the 95-pounder from Wall last year.
I believe it's his brother.
They're brothers.
Brother.
Parents must have thought more of Christian education for the younger brother.
The football Wall won a title last year.
Andy Clark says, don't forget about Carter the Fourth. Certainly Aaron's had a great season, and he's right there as well. So, I mean, that weight class has to play out. 95, Martin and Westfeld are 1 and 2. They wrestled about a month ago. Martin beat him by a point or two. I think it's 3-1.
Yeah.
3-2. 3-2.
3-2.
Yeah.
So Martin's going to have Cardenas, beats Cardenas, and then he's going to go to finals.
Cardenas is what, the 4 seed?
But I don't even know what
Up
the
top?
seed is. But whatever seed, he's in that position to go and wrestle him in, I believe it is the quarters.
I agree with you. If he's an 82-pounder and he's wrestled a lot of matches at 82, that's going to be hard. That's a lot of...
And Martin's a strong kid,
And he's
too,
wrestled
man.
two good matches.
Yeah.
I mean, he moved up to 220 and possibly beat what I think is one of the best 220-pounder in the state. I know North Jersey people and the accolades of Accardi, but I really think we'll get to it down. I really think Devin Starks is going to take that place by surprise. He's just wrestling on way better than he did last year. He's athletic, he's big, he's strong, he's beaming with confidence. He has no pressure with him on him right now. He's just rolling, and that's a weight class where I know people would probably be like, who is this? But I don't think you'll be asking yourself that question after this weekend.
It starts the 3 seed.
Starts at his best. I don't think anyone in this weight class can beat him. Cardi, I don't think he can beat him either.
Cardi listen, he's got some impressive wins, and he had an impressive tournament last year. Yeah. And he's one of these kids that's been, wrestling his whole life, and that's what his family is. And Starks is like one of these kids that was just like, walking the hallways and they're like, come out, and then his athleticism, and then he started to get it. And I think South Jersey's going to have a lot of state champs of the ones that are returning and the ones that are there. But man, I think Devin is wrestling on another level right now, and he's on fire.
I think his toughest opponent is going to be himself. Pushing it through the 6 minutes, because he has the talent, and I don't think anyone in this weight class can match him on his feet. Yeah. It's just you got to go 6 minutes.
Yeah, that being said, you're in front of them 11,000 people. You could, but he was there last year. And the big daddy, Charlie Huff's going to get him ready.
Well, here's what I like about it, though. You said he needs to make sure he wrestles the full 6 minutes. His only loss was to Brian Martin, where he gave up 5 points in the last 7 seconds. So you think he didn't learn then that he needs to go to full 6 minutes?
I don't think he stopped wrestling. I think Martin just
kind of like
no, he didn't, but still.
And you know what, too? You're going to see some calls that could happen quicker, stall calls, fleeing the match. And hopefully, referees, if you're listening, call the matches the same you called them all year long. All right? Don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
Don't let the moment eat you up. Just call the matches. You don't have to call stall in the first 20 seconds just because kids pushing in. That's not an offensive move either. So just call the matches like you've called it all year long. Don't call stalling until it's necessary. Don't listen to the crowd. Don't play to the crowd. So let the wrestlers wrestle. Region 8 reps.
They were wonderful. I really say that because a couple of them I didn't get along.
People were even saying I didn't see the names of them because I just didn't notice them. And that was good.
They did great.
I saw them walking out, and I know. But I think there's a couple things we need to go over too before.
We got heavyweight.
Well, let's do heavyweight.
Yeah, we'll do heavyweight.
Heavyweight. Drew Flynn of Pompton Lakes, the 1 seed. I think a lot of people expect Luis Fernandez Voorhees to kind of do this, and he's the 6 seed. Cody Wood's the 9, Antonio Mercado's the 5, Lamar Price the 4. Who do you think the favorite is?
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I know, call me biased, but I like where Wood's seed. I like where Wood's seed is. Call me biased. I said it. Call me biased. I like where his seed is. I mean, the way he's wrestling, and I've saw these kids wrestle. Last year, he was a small wrestler at heavyweight. He's a good wrestler. I mean, is he a favorite? No, but I think he's got a good chance to make it out.
There's no state placement. It's the only weight class with no state placement in return. So it's as open as can be. It's almost as open. Yeah. And going back and I say, is that 145 pound? I mean, the kid from DePaul was in the finals last year. But other than that, I mean, anyone can win that. I mean, you can even take third in regions and be seeded 6th.
That's true. And yeah, all these kids like Kyle and Fernandez, I know he's undefeated. Flynn's undefeated. But all the other kids that are mixed in there, when they wrestle, look at the comparative scoring. It's like 1 point, 2 point. I mean, they're all close matches. They are. But a lot of them have.
I've never seen anything. I've never seen any of the North Jersey kids wrestle. But I would say Cody's right in there with them and the Sterling kid. But some rank. He's like full circle's got that kid from Pompton Lakes ranked 1. So he's probably number 1.
Chuck Klaus of Hadfield says Pinsky, who he's one of the few who made it with a losing record, I believe. So Pinsky's really. Turn it up down the stretch, Chuck.
Where's Pinsky?
Hats off to you. I'm sure you were teaching him a couple things.
Where's this Pinsky guy? Where's he at?
I want to ask you this, Ralph. You've been in the corner of a couple state finalists over your career here as a coach. What do you tell a kid in the state final or beforehand and kind of keep them locked in?
Well, one of the keys is, and this is key for everybody, and I think everyone should do this, you have to score more points than the other guy.
That's right.
That's a huge thing. But I just don't let them get to you. Listen, I've been wrestling. Some of the kids I sent out in the match, 99% of them, no more wrestling. They were better wrestling. But as your job as a coach, you have to keep them in match. You're up 4, you got to constantly communicate. You're up 4-3, there's 30 seconds left. Don't get taken down, don't lock your hands, that kind of stuff. Also, I know people don't believe this, but when refs are there, you have to try and work them. Yep. I mean, that's not a shot. Don't call stalling because he's not doing anything on top. And sometimes that works against you. Sometimes you just got to stay the rhythm and let your kid know that, hey, your fish don't swim this far. Well, I used to say that, but now a lot of kids go there, fortunately. But everybody here is good, so you deserved it and everything. Some kids it's icing on the cake to be there, and some kids you'll just you got a week left. You'll remember for the rest of your life.
Some kids have all the talent in the world, but it's kind of like I think it's up to the coaches to clear their minds and send them out on the mat in the best condition possible, because some kids at the moment they let it eat them up. So it's good to keep that communication with your wrestler. Also, scout your other wrestlers, because there's a lot of different things that happen up in states. Make sure you don't put a kid down when the kid turns everybody. Right. So and just get them in the right frame of mind. And bottom line is, it's all about what happens on the mat with that wrestler.
And I agree with Brad about scouting. And listen, someone scouted Slendorn and Delran and didn't put them down. And I'm sure people know this. Janser's been dominating every match except for Marina because he knows he's coming with that underdog. Yeah. And you're crazy if you don't think Paul and Carmel have gone over that. You know what he does? He's so long, he steps back, and it's tough to get that underdog. So that's not by coincidence that the difference between Janser and Marina was like this year and that's now.
It's the subtleties. It's those subtleties that you take advantage of.
If you're in with Slendorn and you're on your feet, okay, you're in it. You take down, you just gave him the advantage. He's just so nasty on top.
Let's do one more thing before we say goodbye for the week and get ready for Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. There's one thing you could change with wrestling. I think we've covered the seeds. I think we've covered the team playoffs and the 4 qualifiers from regions. What is it, Brad?
So I know we joke around a lot about coaches wearing jeans and they call them. All right, no more joking, okay? Because I'm going to read something. I want to go over something. And you had a pass in districts, so if you wore jeans, okay, in districts. Regions, I think just because maybe the jeans got darker, maybe they pressed them or they steamed them, they thought it was okay. But here's a recommendation. Go to page 12 in your guide. Recommendation dress code for coaches. It's highly recommended by this organization that when coaching at all events, especially the state tournaments, district, region, states, that the coaching staff dress in a way that will make our association appear more professional. So that would mean suit, slacks, collared shirt, proper shoes, or, so it does say sneakers. I think they kind of throw them a little bit.
Travel foxes.
Yeah, travel foxes, G-Rocks, Georgia Bertinis, maybe up north. Will make for a better presentation of our wrestling coaches. Please refrain from wearing work boots, sweatpants.
They're being nice.
Which I did see sweatpants, shorts,
sweatpants
jeans,
in the corner.
T-shirts. Like, they do not represent well in the eyes of the public. And you wear shorts and warm up, you don't wrestle anymore. All right? You warm your guy up, then you shouldn't go to the mat.
Well, let's just
Dress
say
up,
this.
don't wear jeans. I don't care how dark they are. No black jeans, they don't count either.
Full disclosure, last week I think we all represented what would be proper attire in the corner. This week, one of us didn't.
I'm protesting the NJSA, go no collar plus no repeat of sweat gate. I lost 15 pounds last week. So I'm sure that's where the Paulsboro 13-pounder came last week to get down to 6 because of the sweat gate. I will want to say something too real quick. I agree with Brett. It's the high school tournament. Last week it just felt like a Mawa tournament. And if you're on the podium, if you take, you should wear your school-issued warm-up. No T-shirts, no club shirts.
Misfit
And I
shirts.
understand nothing like that. Just represent and just get back. And there's a lot of things that are going on, but it seems like it's just there's no unity. I will tell you this: you'll always see Paulsboro coaches; they won't have anything on. Those Paulsboro kids won't have anything on, but them Paul. Southern team, they're together, and there's just a lot of mixing and matching. And I know it's good for the sport, but just for crying out loud, even if it's wrong, and I know it's. If you get beat or if you win, stop hugging each other in the middle. Kids are hugging and high-fiving. Have some kind of rivalry. Just go off the mat, shake your coach's hand.
Sometimes, maybe like this week, turn your head a little earlier. Maybe you don't say it, but coaches, when we turn our heads, we do see the
If
coaches.
you hug,
We do see
you
cheers.
should get a caution for next match.
Look, we got a lot to fix this off season, but first off, let's get through the weekend, and it'll be a great weekend in Atlantic City. Everybody here, you can tune in next, right after this, to 3 in the Key with Richie Blyweiss. Thursday at 7 p.m. In the Paint with Nikki Jones. Wednesdays at 7, Varsity Voice with Frankie Stokes. You can find this podcast on iTunes. Go to thesfbn.com for all your needs with any of the shows or anything in terms of.
And we'll be down there this
the
weekend.
links.
So you
We
want to talk about anything that we talked about? Voice your displeasure. But anything we said, we'll be there.
45, the 45-pound winner from Lacey and Kraft. Look me up, buy an ice cream cone since you got hammered.
After they make weight.
Yeah, after they make weight.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in to On the Mat, presented by the Mad Pack. I'm Mark Trible for Brett Fetty and Ralph Ross Jr. We'll see you next week to recap everything and go get the hardware.